Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us today for this live stream event. My name is Alexia, and I am the Project and Event Manager of the Microsoft Reactor Toronto. I will be sharing session resources with you in the chat. Before we begin, I'd like to quickly review two items with you, our Code of Conduct and Event Guidelines. First, please take a moment to review our Code of Conduct. Microsoft Reactor seeks to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. We encourage engagement in the chat, but please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional and on topic. Secondly, our event guidelines. This session is being recorded and will be available on demand through the Microsoft Reactor YouTube channel in about 24 to 48 hours. I will be sharing the link in the chat for our channel. And if you've not been on the live stream through YouTube before, please note that you must create an account on YouTube in order to access and interact in the chat. You can set that up now, and if you're unable to use the chat but have questions, please feel free to reach out to us on social media or on Meetup. Which brings us to today's session. I'm going to bring in our speaker here, Bruno. Hi, Bruno. How are you?
Hey, Alexia. How are you? Fine.
Good. Very exciting session coming up today, Introduction to Power Automate.
Yes.
Super cool.
Let's start.
Take it away.
Perfect. So thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Bruno Capuano. I'm a cloud advocate working at the Toronto Reactor. And I'm here in my office, painted blue, wearing a black t-shirt with Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars. Star Wars is coming. May the 4th is coming, so keep an eye because we are going to do a couple of fun stuff there. I'm a white male in my 40s, and today I want to talk with you about Power Automate. And this is kind of out of my comfort zone. I am not an expert in the Power Platform, but I really want to start to talk about this because I think there is a lot of stuff that most developers, most people in IT, and regular IT users, regular users can learn. And this is a super powerful platform. So before we start, what are we going to see today? I am going to keep slides very short, do a small intro to the Power Platform and to Power Automate. I know there are other friends in the family. And then I am going to show a couple of scenarios. I'm going to show a simple scenario, kind of the hello world, basically process emails with Excel and doing a couple of things with day-to-day stuff. And then, depending on time, I will probably show another business scenarios. And at the end, I'm going to show Azure IoT, how we can process log in Azure IoT with this, which I get there. And this is the moment that I realized that using kind of one of the brothers or sisters, I don't know, of Power Automate, which is the Logic Apps, I can do amazing stuff. And I see that as Mita asking about how we can get access to the video recording. And thanks, Alexia, to just reply that, yes, the recording is going to be ready in 48 hours from now, and you can access in our main YouTube channel. And after showing this, going back, what I'm going to do, quick intro to the Power Platform, a couple of slides, a couple of minutes, and then working, really doing demos. This is what I like, going to the tool and starting to build something. So let's start. And of course, before we start, sorry about the demos, sorry about the bad jokes, sorry about everything else. Feel free to contact me. And by the way, if you have any question I will take a look at the chat. So if you have a question and I can see the question live, I will try to answer the question live. So feel free to chat in Twitch, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever channel that you're using. So what is the Power Platform? The Power Platform is an amazing set of tools. So basically, it's a set of tools, it's a set of frameworks that we can use. And remember, this is my view of the Power Platform as mostly programmers that give us access on top of amazing tools that we also have in the Microsoft Word, like Office, Azure, Dynamics, etc., to automate actions, to create visual interface, to work with analytics, to even create bots. And we have a lot of tools there. So there is a set of tools. Probably the 4 more popular one are Power Apps, Automate, BI, Power BI, and Virtual Agents. But hey, with the common database, that we have, we can do a lot of stuff. So today I'm going to just focus on the Power Automate part, not another one. But it's nice to also share a little about what we can do with the other parts of the platform. So initially, Power Apps basically is a tool to create apps. That's it. We don't need to think a lot about this. And this is super cool because once we create apps, these apps can be accessed in desktop world, in the web world, in the mobile world. Also, we can probably forget a lot of hard topics in the programming world, like single sign-on, connection, integration, etc. It's amazing. It's really, really amazing. And also, if you are a pro developer, we can create components. We can reuse this component. We can share this component with other teams so they can be reused. It's an amazing experience. Then we have Power Automate. Power Automate is basically focused on business process. This is the place that we can start to create our visual workflows using activities, using connectors, using steps. This is what we are going to mostly focus today. And there are so many type of activities that we can use, so many triggers that we can integrate to trigger one flow that, it's amazing the stuff that we can do. And this is not just also focused on the Microsoft platform. It's, of course, we have triggers to interact with Outlook emails, Outlook calendar, SharePoint list, or Teams, the Microsoft stuff. But we can also do stuff in the Microsoft cloud with Azure and Cosmos DB or Azure IoT. Or we can even do stuff with non-Microsoft product like SAP or third party or MailChimp if you want to send, if you have MailChimp to send emails. So we can start to use all of this stuff. And Power Automate's main focus for today, and we are going to go there very quickly. Power BI, basically, it's not just a data analytics tool. There are plenty of stuff that we can do here. A couple of months ago, I was very lucky. I had my friend Ashraf with me. He helped me to create. He created literally in 10 plus minutes a dashboard to analyze data from my Squirrel feeder, and it was amazing how quickly he can create this data, get some insights, get some amazing views, and even add some AI on top to see some anomalies and this kind of stuff. It's super cool. And the final one is Power Virtual Agents that we talk a lot. We've been talking a lot about bots in the last couple of years. And Power Virtual Agent is a visual environment where we can start to create a bot, a chatbot, and we can also do very amazing things here with the chatbot because out of the box, of course, we can deploy the chatbot, in example, to Teams, but we can focus and we can do a lot of very amazing scenarios. If you are interested, if someone is interested in the audience to get deeper in these other tools, I will be happy to try to give to give here kind of a full hour review or more in these tools. And again, this is kind of my view as a developer work using these tools, but will be happy also to invite to have some experts here using these tools, and so they can do much more. And one of the important parts that we have also as part of the Power Platform is we have tons of connectors. And connectors with cloud services, content services, databases. It's amazing. So, an example, if you want to do something with your local storage and you're using OneDrive, there are connectors from OneDrive. You're using OneDrive for Business. There are a couple of connectors from OneDrive for Business that can trigger an activity every time that you have a new file. Or if you want to create a file, you can have a step to do that. But if you are using Google Drive, in example, you have Google Drive in the space too. So it's not just Microsoft. There are plenty of stuff. You can see here a couple of names, but you see there that we have Salesforce, we have Basecamp, Box, Blogger, plenty of stuff. So the connector part, I think, is one of the most amazing because it gives us the chance to do a lot of stuff. And there are more slides here. I put them down. For me, today is all about Power Automate. So let's do the hello world of Power Automate. And as I said, I was planning to spend here just a couple of minutes with the slides. If you have more questions, I will be happy to answer the question. But let's go to Power Automate. So there are a couple of ways that we can use Power Automate. You can use Power Automate with any account that you have that have access to Office. So, for example, this is my personal account. I can go here and take a look at my email, but I also have here in all of my apps, I have the chance to go here and go to Power Automate. And this is not an Office enterprise or an Office organization account. This is my personal account. But even with this account, I have the chance to create. Yes, I know that I have a lot of old flows there that need to be updated. I have the chance to start to do a lot of stuff with Power Automate. And a couple of things that I really like about this is that we have templates. So we have here the chance, in example, to create, where my mouse, there it is, create out-of-the-box flows, out-of-the-box processes that are basically already defined here, and we just need to configure them. So in example, we have, let me start zoom it. We have this one, super cool. Somehow, sometimes, if you want to have kind of a big backup of your attached documents in email, please do not send big files via email, but there is something there. You can create a flow that is going to connect to your email account, and every time that you have an email with attached, it's going to save the attach in OneDrive. We have similar one, but as I mentioned, it's not just for Microsoft product. We can also work with Dropbox, and I'm sure that there is something there for also Google Drive. And take a look at this one. Here we have reading Gmail emails, so not Outlookcom, this another provider for emails, in this case Google, and then saving the attachments to a Dropbox folder. So a completely non-Microsoft focused product, but using Power Automate. And another important topic that I want to remark here is that these templates are provided by Microsoft, of course. We have an amazing team here creating these templates, but also there is a huge and amazing community that create templates. They submit the template, and after, I don't know how it works internally, but I see a lot of kind of third-party templates here, which are super, super cool because, hey, this is what the community are building and creating, and it's nice to have them here. So we can do plenty of stuff with the template. And also, I don't know, if we want to do some approval actions, in example, we can start, we do something like this. Every time that we want to move a file from one location to another in SharePoint, we can have an approval. This approval is basically sending an email or a task in Teams or in other channels to some users. And when one user or a specific set of users approve this, the action is going to be performed. So there are plenty of templates of how this is we can do approvals. And as I said, we have approvals, we have buttons because we can install an app on a phone and trigger flows directly from a button there. We have that data collection emails, plenty of templates here too. But if I want to create a new one, and I'm going to create a simple one, I have each one of the flows has a trigger. And the trigger is basically the point that we can start this flow. So we can start the flow every time that we have a new email, every time that we have a calendar item, every time that we have, I don't know, a new file in a location. Plenty of ways to do this. And we can also do some stuff like, hey, let's make a scheduled cloud flow. So this is a specific type of flows that is going to run under a schedule. And I can send this, I can create one to be run every Monday at 10 a.m. to do something. So let's create one like this. So I am going to do my flow. Let's define a name. So reactor reminder email. I am going to define this email to start to run today. So this is today at 10 a.m. And I want this to be repeated every week, basically every week on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day week. I will have this running basically do each day. And hey, let's be nice with our colleagues. Let's run this only Monday and Wednesday. So I am going to create a flow that is going to run every day, Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. And that's it. This is the name of the flow, and this is what we want to do. So we have here the trigger, and the trigger is the request. How it's going to be run. So run Mondays, Wednesday, every week, 10 a.m. We have plenty of other options here that we can run at these hours. I don't go to sleep. You get the idea. And remember, I'm just a user here. So what I want to do here. So I want to pick up a list of names, and I want to basically, I have a list of names of my teams, and I want to send emails to these names. How this works, hey, I can get here and I can go directly. This is a step. We have a trigger and this is a step. So I can go to Active Directory if I want, or Microsoft Graph. And this is another important topic here. So I can start to interact with services, and there are plenty of services here that will allow me to do actions here. So I have here Microsoft Graph, security. I have here Azure Active Directory. So if I am working in a company and I have access to my Azure Active Directory, I can basically, in example, get a group of people here, get group members. I like this one. I will get the group member because I know, in example, that my team name is, I don't know, the Microsoft Reactors teams, the Reactor Cloud Advocates. So I can synchronize to Azure Active Directory and get these users and work with these users. But I am going to go in a different direction. I don't have my users right now. I don't want to do this in Azure Active Directory. I'm kind of old school here. And what I have is, let me go to resources, Power Automate. I have in OneDrive, and you probably have, oh, sorry, I closed it. I have in OneDrive a huge list, an amazing list of people here with name, first name, last name, and contact email. This is an Excel file. I know that a lot of people use Excel. I use Excel a lot. And hey, this is an Excel file, and this file has this set of names, all of the demo names, and this is a table. So this table also has a name. So this is my email table. So I have here in my email table, first name, last name, and the contact email. And this is in OneDrive. So I want to do here, go back to my Power Automate. Let's remove this step. Let's add a new step, the latest step. Okay, yes. Let's add a new step to work with Excel. And let's take one different here, which is super important. Excel, we have two flavors of Excel. We can access Excel online in OneDrive, or we can access Excel online in business. This is because you can use OneDrive in your personal OneDrive, or you can use online if you're in your business scenario. I'm doing this in my personal one. This is something that I'm doing for myself. So I'm going to pick up here my provider, which is going to be Excel Online, and I see that I have all of these available actions here. I have the chance to delete a row, to get a worksheet, list row, update, plenty of stuff that I can do. And in the other side, remember that we can use triggers to trigger a flow. This flow is going to be triggered every Monday and Wednesday, but I can use triggers. Some providers have triggers, not for Excel, but some providers have triggers. As an example, when you have a new file in a list, you can get this. So what I'm going to do here, I am going to get a table. So in order to get a table, I have a step to here to get a table. I am going to open the file. So I am going to go to my event list. Then from the event, go to sources. I have here my AI, my machine learning, and I have my Power Automate resources, and I have here my contact email. So I have here my email, my file, super cool, there it is, and I get the table, and then which is the next step that I want to do. So I have the list there, and what I want to do, I want to send an email. So there are a couple of ways that I can send an email. Let me show you the simple one. So there is a standard provider for email, which is going to be basically the email that I want to use. I can send an email, and as you can expect here, to send an email, we have to, subject, and body. That's the standard stuff that we have. And where I want to send an email. So I have the names. I have in my Excel file, I have a set of names. So I will enter a custom value. And what we can see here is that, hey, I have here a lot of information that is coming from the tables. But this is not what I want to do. This is not the one that I want to do because I don't want tables. I want a single table. So I'm going to change my provider at the first to basically list the rows that I have in the table. But I just want to show you how we can start to connect step here. So let's go back here because I am also going to use a different one. So let's delete this one. Okay, delete tables. Okay, and let's go back to new step, Excel Online, Excel OneDrive, and let's do this. I know my table name. Remember, it was email tables. I can get the rows from that table. Let's go for that rows. That table, I need to do again my connection. So let's go back here to events. Let's go back here to resources and Power Automate, contact my file. And main difference here is now that I open the file, I can access, I need to define which is the table that I want to use. So I can open here my Dropbox and I have my email table. So I have right now the access to the table. So if I want to go back and send an email, let's add a new step for email. I go back here to enter a custom value. What we are going to see right now here are the columns that we have in the table: first name, last name, and contact email, which is basically the stuff that I have here. Super cool, super simple, no surprises here. So let's send an email. Let's go for contact email. Big change here, because we don't have a single item here. It's a collection of rows. We can have one or more or zero. It's going to create automatically a for each, and we are going to iterate through this data. So I'm going to send an email notification, and I'm going to say something like, I don't know, review and update this week event list. So every Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m., I am going to ask my colleagues to review the event list. And in the body, I will do something like, hey, first name, just a reminder that you need to review and update your event. I know we can do a calendar activity for this. This is just an option to show you. But hey, here I am creating a flow, basically, that is going to run every Monday and Wednesday, 10 a.m. It's going to connect to OneDrive, open an Excel file, iterate through the items there, and then send an email. If I save this, of course, I can start to test this. So let's do something. Let me open this sample account. So I will go here, open a new private window. These are all demo accounts. Office.com. I'm going to connect with this account. User, password, there it is. I don't want to show this again. So here I am in this demo account. Let's go to Outlook. Let's go to start to see the emails. This is the emails that we have right now. No emails at all. I have planner. I have some sample information here. But let's run the workflow. And in order to run the workflow, let me split this in this and this. So I will have my workflow on the right, and I have the task on the left. And what I'm going to do right now, I can test my workflow. And because this is a triggered workflow, remember it's going to trigger every day, I can test it manually, kind of simulating that today is Monday, 10 a.m., and I can run this. When I run my workflow, it's going to show me here that I can go to the flow runs page, and I can start to see how my workflow is running. So it's basically running. I can enter here the workflow, and I can start to see in real time. You can see here how first step, check. This is kind of a faking that we trigger this manually. Then get the table. It's worked fine. And now it's doing. It's been 20 seconds, and it's working to all of the emails to all of the names that we have there. And let's take a look at the email in the other side. I just get an email here, getting the name to, hey, Adele, because this is an email for her, just a reminder that you need to review and update your event items, regard, yada, yada. And that's it. It's running. It's there. It's working. Long story short, I created a reminder that is going to pick up all of my information from here. And remember, I get in the info from Excel, but I can get the info from an Azure Active Directory, from a list on SharePoint, if you have the information in Salesforce or even a CSV file in a text file, you can get it from there and start to work. And it's super cool. And it's sending email. And right now it's still working. I don't know which one is working right now. It's working for a minute, sending a lot of emails. Can't remember how many I have. 31 items. But hey, this is cool. This is working. This is nice. And if I am sending this kind of a generic email here, this came from Microsoft at powerapps.com. What's happened if I want to use my personal email? If I don't want the email to be sent from a generic email, but I want to be sent from my personal email. So I can go back here. I will go edit my email. Let's delete this association, and let's add a new step here. So in example, let's go for Outlook. And you see here that we have a couple of Outlook's activities here. We have Office 365, Outlook, Outlook.com, Outlook task. I don't know what is this one. I don't know what is this one. Third-party provider. This is the amazing part. And hey, this is my personal email, so I want to send this from Outlook.com. Outlook.com, another provider. We have plenty of activities, plenty of action here. Create a contact, delete a contact, send an email. We probably have some triggers. This is the place that we can see the triggers. We can trigger this every time that we have a new email arriving, every time that we have a new event. So plenty of triggers here. And what I want to do, I want to send an email. So let's go here, send an email, send email with options. So because this is the first time that I am using this connector, I need to synchronize. I need to sign in here. And this is important. When this runs automated, in automated mode, this is going to basically send the email on my behalf. So right now, I need to sync here. I am going to do the login in another window just to save my account. So here it is. There it is. Now I am connected there. So where I want to send the email, very similar what we have right now. I want to send the email to the contact email, get the transformation for each. We're going to iterate all of this, and let's start to see. Okay, subject. What do we do? These review items. Let's do this. Review event list, and I can even set options here. I can even start to send here kind of options, option 1, option 2, option 3. So I will do this complete, in progress, and cancel it. And then I can go to the advanced options, and I can do a header text, selection text. So in this specific email, I have much more options to work. And if we use a third-party provider like MailChimp, we are going to have a lot of MailChimp-specific options for email. So it all depends on what we want to do. So let me copy here the body, and the body is going to be like this. But hey, I don't want to put hi Adele. I am going to go here, hi, first name, space, last name. So we have first name and last name. And remember, all this is getting from the Excel. Normal importance, we don't have attachments. We can do this later. I can even use HTML, plenty of stuff here. So I have my new and amazing flow created, very similar to the first one, but it's not going to send an email with a generic email provider. It's going to send an email using Outlook.com. And then I'm going to save this, and let's test this again. So I will test this manually, test, run flow, go to the run flow pages, and I should have here, this is running right now. And there it is, it's working. And in a couple of moments, we are probably going to see here on the left that we have a new email for this. So let's open the apply to each, and let's wait for the email here. In the meantime, if you have any question, if you have something that you want to ask, this is the moment. And I will probably start to check also here my junk email, because, okay, it's not here yet, but let's wait, and I should get the email soon. So in the meantime, let's see how it's working. It's sending email. It's probably doing some stuff, and let's wait. But while we wait until we send all of the emails, This is super cool. I am automating actions. I am not writing any line of code, and I am working with this. And what else we can do with this? As I mentioned, we have plenty of stuff to do. And we have this personal view, which is kind of in my personal email, Outlookcom, that I have here. Or we can use Power Automate in a business scenario, in a business account. So if I go back to this account, the one that I am using for test, and I open my activities, my applications, and I go for Power Automate, this is going to be myself, in this case as Adele, as one of the users. And first time I'm using this, so it's going to ask me for some information. Let's define the country. It's going to be Canada. Okay, get started. First time is going to show me these screens with this is how it works, this is what you want to do, but it's a very similar experience. But let's create a new task. This is a good question. Let me show the question online for the other channel. So Balaji, sorry if I say your name bad, he's asking that the triggers for Power Automate could be events in the application like open of customer records. Yes, if you are, yes, let me show you how I will probably going to do this. If you want to do a custom, if you want an application to do a custom, a custom flow, to trigger a custom flow on any activity, there are a couple of ways that you can do this. One that I really like is, you can create, let me skip this. Let's create, this is an empty Power Automate. And what we can do is we can create a flow that is going to be triggered when you have an HTTP request. So when we create this flow, yes, and this is something that we can talk later. There are standard connectors and there are premium connectors. It's all depend on what you are using. This is all a trial account, so it's all in trial mode. But hey, here I can start to basically get my information. I can get a body JSON skin. Let me search for a sample JSON for, I don't know, for customer data. I am searching here online. Sample JSON for customer data. Super simple one. And there it is. So what I am going to do here, I'm going to paste here a simple JSON that is going to have some information about the customer. And with this is the input JSON information that my Power Automate will receive. So at this moment, let me hide the question. At this moment, I paste a sample JSON. It automatically create the JSON schema, and that's it. This is going to be a new. This is going to be a new automate that. In example, when we have a customer, what we want to do, I don't know. Let's do something silly. Let's go for Excel. And Excel Business Online. And when we have a new customer, we want to add row into a table. So I can right now create, let's assume that we have an Excel file and we can start to add information to the table. And hey, even here, when I don't have an Excel file, so I can create, but I have the chance here, as we see before, that location one business, document library, drive, file. I don't have the file, but take a look at this. These fields, games, are automatically created from the JSON file that we defined on the first step, on the tree. So, hey, if you have your JSON, if you have your application and you want to trigger a flow every time that someone open a customer report, someone do A, B, or C, you can do this and you can use this as an activity. And where is the URL for this? So when I save the flow, let's do a simple notification. So send me an email notification. Let's do simple one, subject, Test body. That here, first name, last name, street, city, state, zip. I'm saving here this one right now, and when I save the flow, hey, this one here, sorry, this is my HTTP request. I'm sorry, this is the HTTP endpoint that we can use for this. So if you want to do something like this, hey, you can trigger HTTP request. I'm sorry, you can make HTTP request from your app when something is happening and triggers flow. And hey, you can even get, we have the request and we also have the response. Somewhere here is the response. We can say, okay, if everything works fine, we have a 200, we have a key there, or we can even say, okay, this is not 200. We can, I didn't show this, but we have conditions here. So I have here a condition, if A, B, so an example, if the street is equal to, I don't know, my street is going to be fine. So if I have this in the street, I can, oh, sorry, I think I can do drag and drop. I will do a response or request, and it's going to be fine. And if the street is not my street, do a response. Oh, response, come on, repeat response. And let's do kind of, not an error, let's do something different. Let's go 400. The street not found, so I can delete this. And we have here a super simple flow. I know this is more for developers, but it's going to be an HTTP endpoint when you call and you pass data like this one. Let me open here quickly. Oh, no, I want. We can do something this, name, last name, address, street, and we trigger this flow. We can have a response 200 or 400, depending on the name of the street. In example, with a simple condition. We have condition and we have these kind of stuff. So Nanju, sorry if I say your name bad. You're asking if we can copy files from Google to Azure storage. Yes, that's a cool one. So in example, let's try to build one. And again, it wasn't in the, and let me build this in my account because I have some connection already created. So let's create a new flow, skip. Let's trigger this with the, I don't know, from Google Drive. But I don't have Google Drive here connected, but let's do something similar with OneDrive. So OneDrive, trigger, when a file is created. Think that this is going to be very, very similar of what you are going to see to do with OneDrive. Yes. Sorry, I was trying to avoid this. That's why I want to use mine. But we have this. We have OneDrive. Let's pick up a folder. Root, events. Go in my events folder. Have plenty of stuff here. Resources. Oh, sorry, not resources. Let's go for, yes, resources. And let's go for Power Automate. So I have file here. So this is my folder. Sorry, Power Automate. Let's go back to resources and Power Automate. So have here, first step, every time that we'll have a new file created in this folder, and again, it's very, very similar in Google Drive. I don't have Google Drive here working. I will start to do stuff. Important, for this specific one, we can even do this in cascade mode with subfolders, and hey, it will be smart enough to infer the content type. So let's hide this. So what do you want to do? We want to copy these files, as you mentioned, to an Azure storage. So I can add a new step. Let's go for Azure. We have tons of stuff that we have here, but hey, take a look at this. We have table storage, we have file storage. I don't know if I have the file storage, but I know I have a couple of tables. So I will do this with table. So every time that we have a file there, let's try to create a new entity there. So let's go for insert entity. No. Oh, I have no. This account is already, I already ran the premium test for this one. So let's switch to another one. Let's do Azure storage. Let's see if I still have make a trial with the file storage, and I will create. Still, it's going to be the same. So let's create a file. So I am not going to be able to use, this is my personal one, but hey, if you have here the access, you can even do this and it's going to be synchronized. Let me see quickly, we still have 20 minutes, so I can give the try from here. So let's create one, skip, and let's trigger this with OneDrive for Business. When a file is created, in which folder? This is my Adele folder. So in the do something here. Let's create a folder in OneDrive. Be very simple. New folder, Azure. So we have here a new folder. It's called to Azure. And if I go here to the flow, it probably takes some time to synchronize. I'm not. Oh, there it is. So we have the to Azure. Take a look here. This is the folder that I just created. So let's go for Azure and let's do this one. So let's go for Azure table storage. I know interentity. So it's going to be a connection. Let's do some storage account name. I need to switch to my account a second. Let me go here and copy this info. This to storage. So see, basically what I am doing here, sorry, trying to cut the mask. Let's create a new container here. Let's do this files from OneDrive. Sorry, forget that need to be lowercase. Drive. Let's go this. Anonymous access. Create. I have here my file. I have everything here. I have created a container, and what I can do here right now, move it away so I can copy the file. Let me copy the connection string. Second. Sorry about that. I haven't this one in my demo, but I think it's a good one to solve online. So let me show you here. Copying the token to copy this. Perfect. Properties, access policy. There it is. Okay. So storage account name. The name of the account is keys. Copy. And the shared storage key here. Copy the key, create. And I already created, I am already in my data storage, so I am going to go for the table. I don't have the table. Let's go for the table, insert entity, custom value, and my table to be files OD, from OD, and the entity is going to be here. The table, let's pull the file content. Okay, so right now, I basically create. Yes, I need to still to make a better configuration here. Oh, sorry, better configuration here in Azure, but it's very similar of what you can do if you have a Google file. And sorry, I didn't have the IoT. I'm sorry, the storage created to do this, but maybe with 2 or 3 steps, You can synchronize every time that you have a new file in a folder in Google Drive. You can create an insert entity, insert a file in Azure Files. I don't have Azure Files here, but if I go here to Action, Files, Storage, create a file. It's going to be very similar. I see it, the storage name, the access key here, and then it's going to be created very similar to what we just did. But it's give you this. I want to give you the sense that, hey, we can start to do this, and it's going to be triggered when new file is created, or you can even do this every Monday morning, every Tuesday night, every Saturday noon. Run a process that will check the files in one side and check if they are in the another. Is going to copy. That will require more steps because you need to do a couple of loops for each and a couple of things. But hey, you can even do that. Jojo is asking to show an example of sending an API request using the calendar. Not sure what you mean, but what we can create, what we can create is I can create a new flow. And let's go for an example, Office 365 Outlook. And every time that we have a new event, an example, we have here, it's going to be connected. And every time that I have a new event in my calendar, we can do an API request. We can do an example, and basically make an HTTP request. So we are going to do a post for a specific URL, http://123 app. And I can define my headers, I can define my body. In the body, I can get all of this info that will came from the calendar. If this was your the stuff that you are looking for. So I can create here, an example, something to send. But usually, this is not the way that you want to do this. You're going to start to work here with variables. So if you go to variables, you're going to start to define a variable. So we can, an example, initialize a variable. And variable name, I usually do this JSON body. That is going to be string, and it doesn't have any value. Then here, I am going to do, again, I have a lot of JSON activities here. I have, in data operations, I have the options to create CSV, to create HTML. So if you are a programmer and you know a little more of these kind of activities, you can start to work with variables. A good example of this, and with this we are almost finishing, is that I have here, let me go back here. I have here, in Azure, we have kind of a brother/sister. I'm not sure how to do this, how to mention this, which is a new type of activity that we can use. It's called the logic app. And a logic app is very similar. It's very, very similar to a Power Automate flow that is going to run with a specific trigger. And in this case, I have one logic app that is, let me go to the other one, that is going to be triggered by Azure IoT, and it's going to perform a couple of steps. So this is the full logic app. As you see here, we have very similar layouts, very similar activities and steps and triggers that we have in Power Automate. But the way that this is going to work is here. I have an Azure IoT. Where is my Azure IoT? Azure IoT hub. When I have devices, one of the devices is this feeder. This is, let me change it. So this is an Azure, this is kind of a squirrel feeder, and this is going to work every time that I move by, they detect that we have a squirrel nearby, is going to send information to the cloud. So the way that I have this, the way that I've been doing this is I have the device, the device defined here, the device is detecting squirrels, and then it's sending information to the cloud. Let me connect the device and make it work. take 2 seconds. And it's all about JSON. It's all about information running there. So once the device is running, and I need to also share my internet. So let me go here, network, and mobile hotspot. This. So when I turn this on, let me turn this on. So in a couple of seconds, it's going to be connected here. We don't have any device connected yet. There are 0. Once the device is connected, there it is. It's going to be also connected to the Azure IoT Hub. So I can open here the Azure IoT Hub. Where is my Azure IoT Explorer? There it is. And let's go for this one. I think it's registered here. So this one is the device is working, and if I enable the telemetry, I will start to see that. Let me hide this a little. I will start to see events coming forward and there. So I pick up my switch to the other view. I pick up my squirrel, get the squirrel close here to the sensor. And we are starting to see that, hey, we have these JSONs coming and going to the Azure IoT. Have an animal detected, it's a squirrel, first time, feeder state, the time and date. So I have this info flowing in Azure IoT. What I can do now is I go back to my logic app resource, and then I will say every time that I have an event coming to Azure IoT with specific formats, I am going to start to work with this. So I have my schema here created for example JSON, and what I am going to do, I am going to compose here. Let's do some strings. So I am basically parsing the JSON, doing some composing here, doing the same to the code because part of information is x64. Then move everything to a new variable and send an email. Let's send an email to this lady. I can't remember her name. Let's open here. Let's send an email to Adele, and instead of my personal account, and this is going to have all of this info. So I will save this. I will save this, and I will enable the trigger. Is disabled. It's enabled. So right now, if everything working fine, here in the emails of Adele, every time that I make an action here with my squirrels, I should start to get some information. I will start to get some information triggered to Azure IoT, and Azure IoT will pick up this info, trigger this logic app, which is kind of a Power Automate, and this Power Automate would send the info as an email to Adele. You can see here in the bottom a couple that were run at the beginning of the month. So this is kind of fine. And hey, it took me literally 10 minutes to build the Power Automate. It took me literally 11 minutes, one more minute, to save that information in a Azure Cosmos DB database. And hey, my option there, if I want to synchronize this info in Cosmos DB, will be to basically connect everything and write a lot of code. No code here, and I have this. Somehow this is not working. I need to double check my connections, but I hope that you get the idea. This is what I am getting right now from the feeder. I pick up this, no code, and I can send this to SAP, to your application, to Dynamics, to my application, to Excel. I can do plenty of stuff, and it's just drag and drop. It's kind of this. So hey, thanks Jojo, thanks. Where you can find more info on IoT data to storage. So I did a session on the Reactor about this early in. If you go to the Reactor YouTube channel, you will see that I think it was on January or February. I did a session about this, and I explained a little more about how you can do this. So it's kind of nice. And hey, Jojo, thank you very much. Is what we have. And I don't have the session list here nearby, but that's kind of the idea. You can start to do these kind of things. And again, if I go here to my Azure IoT Hub, there it is, and I go here to events, somewhere here, it wasn't my, somewhere here is the Logic app, and this Logic app is the one should be connected and running right now every time that they have this, every time that they have new event. Should be up and running. Let's see if I open the right one. Maybe I choose the other one. So sorry about that, but let's see if it's working. Oh no, it was on hold, so it's not even deployed. So now I'm saving, it's making the connection every time that I have a new one. My float somewhere here should start to work. So that's kind of the idea. I hope you like it. We don't have more time. We only have 3 more minutes. If you have any question, that's fine. Let me see if I can find the Microsoft Reactor YouTube. Here, let's go to the Reactor. Here, let me mute this, and let's go to the channel here in the videos list. Tutorials. In this session, this one here, I can't share the link. Maybe Alicia can help me and share the link. Oh, there, yes, I can. Sorry about that. In this session, I explain basically how to do this, and in the first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes is my friend Ashraf explaining how to get this information and process the information with Power BI. So it was on March, sorry, not January, it was on March, and we talk about this, and I spent some time here explaining how to connect this, how to do Azure IoT. And again, it wasn't Power Automate, it's Logic App, but it's kind of the idea. So I have a more question. Balaji is asking, sorry about that, missed this one. Can I use Power Automate to give notification if there is a price fall or rise in stock? Yes, you can. If you have access to kind of a data source in HTML page or somewhere else that you can read, you can use this. One of the cool things about Power Automate is that you can add here, if you want, in example, a new step, which is going to be a notification. And you have 2 types of notification. You have mobile notification and email notification. And the first one, mobile, if you have Power Automate in your mobile phone and this flow is assigned to you, you're going to get a standard notification in your iPhone, in your Android phone. So that's a way that you can do it. You can also interact with notification. And you can even do this for plenty of users so they can use it like that. So it's probably tricky. It's probably a couple of things that you can work there, but hey, that's kind of the idea. Angus telling, sorry, I'm showing the comments later. Thank you so much. No, happy to help. If you have any other question, feel free to contact us, and we are going to be happy to do something like this, or even do a full session around, let's build something together. Let's build this Azure IoT and Power Automate / Logic App from scratch. I started with emails, very simple today, but there are so many options, so many scenarios that we can cover that will be amazing. And I know that Alexia shared at the beginning a kind of an intro module that we have in Microsoft Learn that you can also use if you are new to this to learn what you can do with this. And it's a very, I think, I can't remember, I think it's 20 minutes, 40 minutes, and you can learn what you can do. Oh, thanks. There it is. Thanks, Alexia. So Balaji, thanks a lot. Hey, thanks everyone. We are on time. Please spend 5 minutes, or 5 seconds, and complete the event code, the survey that we have. There is the link and the event code. And hey, see you next one. It seems that Power Automate is there. I will bring a couple of extra scenarios maybe in the near future and show all this, because it seems that there is room for this, for a developer to talk about this. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everyone.